Hello, Pensioner Prepper here. I have a couple of things to say. Just adjust that a little bit. This is mainly for UK pensioners. Other people can take any advice on it. Okay? So, what I'm going to talk about is your pension. Many of you live alone and struggling on little more than £100 a week, which you and I know is a scandal. I left the UK because, quite frankly, I didn't want to be a UK pensioner struggling on such a pittance, finding it so difficult to pay my bills and put a bit of coal or whatever on the fire to keep warm. The electricity, the gas, the water, you name it. And even now, you have an election coming up on the 12th of December. The Labour Party manifesto, and you can follow it yourself, is proposing to stop the single person's council tax relief. Well, council tax at the minimum when I was there was £1,200 a year, and you got a little bit of a third off for that relief. Well, if you're living on a little more than £100 a week or £120 a week, that's going to hit you hard. And I'm not going to get into the politics of the Labour Party or anything else, because that's up to you. I know my views on it, and well, they're not very complimentary. So we're going to talk about your pension money, which is going to be hit hard. Now, if you've got any money in the bank, you know, as I've said before, it's like putting a piece of cheese out and leaving it out for the mice to nibble at. It'll dwindle. Your money in the bank is not safe. Your pension is not safe if you've got a private pension. I've got a private pension. It's only small, but I've got a private pension. But you know, not so long back, Gordon Brown raided the pension surplus and put them all into deficit. People's pensions went down. And if there's a crisis, what we call shit hits the fan, and I believe there will, then the government is going to raid every source of income it can. Private pensions are going to get hit first, in my opinion, because it's an easy source of snatching money. Welfare is another easy snatch of money. Defence spending, you've only got to look between 1918 and 1939 and see the defence spending went down through the floor. And obviously what happens, because it's an easy cut. The health service is one of the biggest budgets eaters on government spending. So there's only 3 sources for government to have money to spend on services. One is the most obvious: you tax. But if your tax base is going down, the other one is borrowing. We know what happens with borrowing, because obviously Britain's relied on the AAA rating, which is the lowest rate of borrowing. When they've lost that, the more they lose, the more they have to spend just in interest. And so where do they get the rest of it from? We've heard about, I'm getting into politics here, renationalising and things like that. Where are you going to get the money from? Or you steal it. So we'll get that little bit over and done with, because we're talking about your pensions. Right. Now, this is euros and things like that. Okay. Let's go back a little bit in time. We'll go back to the days of pounds, shillings and pence. Right? And so, I can't say the date exactly, the government decimalised the currency. Now that's the biggest con you've ever had. Biggest con. Excuse me, have a drink. So we all know you can count on your fingers and toes. You went from 240 pennies in the pound to 100. Right? So that reduced the actual value of your pound by half. To offset that, they put into place the half penny, so that made 200 pennies equivalent to the pound. But still, had 40 pennies gone into the ether. That's 40 pennies of your pound, which gone. Then, very quickly, they said, oh, it was the size and it was inconvenience and all sorts of things like that. Half penny disappeared, so you ended up with 100 pennies to the pound. So you got a 50% depreciation in your pound. Currency, I won't call it money because it's just currency. It's not money. But the other little con, you remember calling this silver? This is a 10p piece. They call it silver. It's not silver. It is not silver. Britain has not been making silver coinage since the 1950s, so I can't exactly remember the price, do they? So the silver coinage, as you go, you remember your sixpences? Some people remember threepennies. Sixpences, your bob, your shilling, your 2 bob, and your half crown. We call it half a dollar, but by that time a dollar was worth far more. So, sixpences, shillings, 2 shillings, and half crowns, 2 sixes. Right? So they recall all of these in. Oh, great. There's your 100 pennies to the pound. 50% reduction. But the other con was, you remember searching through your change and you're finding actual silver coins, actual sixpences, actual 2 bobs, shillings and half crowns. Well, the older they were, the nearer you got to pure silver. 90% I think as you get nearer, I think it's post-war, you get nearer post-World War II or something like that. But usually they're about 80% silver. So the government halved your money and stole your real money in silver and collected silver bullion. Oh, very nice for the government. Lovely. Yeah? Crisis over for a while. And the other thing is, a lot of those coins, unlike this 2p piece, here's that, was actually copper or a copper alloy. What's the price of copper and copper bullion? The electrical industry was going up at that time. They needed copper for wires and components and things like that. So the government snatched copper bullion off you. Very nice little earner, wasn't it? Yeah? Okay, so you had the welfare state. Oh, lovely for the poor, but who's paying for it? You are. So, another thing is, you'll notice about your coins, you get a magnet. This is supposed to be money. It's not. Get a magnet and see how much of it flicks up and sticks to your magnet. It's tin. It's worthless bloody tin. Put your money in the bank. So you put £10 in the bank. You get nothing for it. The bank's able to lend it out, obviously. Yeah, great little earner. But you're just about paying the bank to lend your money out for high interest. You're giving them the ability to earn money off your back, and that's no matter how poor you are, children's savings, all a lot. They are thieves, and the government is part of that theft. Now, I'm going to put some gloves on because you get these from Boots, cotton gloves, right? I'm going to show you what real money is. I'll show you what actual money is. Okay, the most base money throughout history. This is silver bullion. that is money. Okay, silver bullion, right? That's a 1 ounce silver bullion. Okay, you remember the word 1 ounce? Not a lot. But actual money is this stuff. Gold. Remember in the 1960s, gold was roughly about $35 per ounce. Now, gold is a stable currency. Now, if I buy, say, for the sake of argument, £20 worth of gold, £20 in 1960s, well, it would have filled my car petrol tank up. It was roughly about, I forget, 5 bob a gallon, 5 shillings a gallon, something like that. You may have a better memory than me, but you can fill your car petrol tank on. That's a modest family car. I doubt that £20 will get you 2 gallons of petrol now. But your £20 by weight of gold will still fill your car. If you'd have bought it then, it will still fill your car. Why? Because it hasn't depreciated in value. Now here we come to the crux of the matter. You've got to preserve what little money you've got, better say these, basically from the government and bank thieves, because they are thieves. And when they talk about, say, oh, we are going to tax and give money to the poor, and it still hits the poor because you still pay for it. So that is the smallest bullion you can get. It's 1 gram, right? Okay, 1 gram. So I haven't recently looked on 1 gram of gold, sorry. It will cost you up to £60. Okay, so you've not got a lot of income. That's a good way to buy gold periodically and put it away. Okay. You might think, oh, I won't be able to afford £60. Oh, I won't be able to afford £60. Yes, I agree. Most of you are pensioners and you've probably cut back to the bone. Yeah. But why not have a small change jar? Put it away periodically, small change, just for that purpose. Okay. You won't be a millionaire, obviously, behind that, because you're still on a pension and such like. But you can, if you're careful, buy a little bit of gold each time. Right? So that is a thought for you. Now we'll come to where to buy. Now, I would not buy silver in the UK. Simple as that. I live in Bulgaria, so I can get my silver VAT free. You'll be charged 20% more than what I can get it for in the UK. I go to, say, a company like Bullion UK, which is based in London. You can go into Sheffield down London Road and buy it straight, the top of London Road by the moor. You can go into the bullion shop there and buy it straight off the counter. You get it relatively they say post free, but it's a little bit higher. 1 gram you pay a little bit more above spot than the nearer you get to the 1 ounce gold. But that is inevitable because you've not got a lot of money. Now, I left Britain because I did not want to be a poor pensioner. I did not want to be a poor pensioner. I thought, no way. And I'd got my pension from the company I was working for, which the government snatched, by the way. So I got it a bit earlier because of ill health. So I took a lump sum out of it, £20,000. So what I did, yes, some were spent frivolously. I was not very well up on the economics of things. I was just like you or everybody else. I've got some money, I'll spend it. I did improve on the house, which was a very bad investment, really. I couldn't afford to pay off the mortgage, and the mortgage was coming up. There's several reasons I had to pay off that mortgage. But anyway, I bought a house in Bulgaria, something like £5,000. So I moved out to Bulgaria. I became a resident, obviously, and cut my expenditure down dramatically. I did manage to sell the house in the UK, which I had, but I had a lot of debts to pay off, and I paid them all, everything. A small amount to come out with, so I used it to improve the place where I live. Okay, here, this is where I live now, and it enables me to buy a small amount of this. I can do each month, but I have other commitments. Now that's a good investment in for mine for savings. Now you're a pensioner. You're on your own, and you are trying to make headway. Now what I would suggest to you, you get some of you together and basically make a pool where you can buy gold. You can still buy gold from the silver from Europe without the VAT, but you have to pay the carriage. So a good way to get together and help each other with the carriage. But you can get together. These are a good one. They're Britannias. They're the UK Britannia. They're less than £20 each. Mind you, if you get it from a UK vendor, you still got 20% VAT. So while you still can, you can buy from Europe without the VAT. But if you can get a group of you together and pool in your money, cuts down on the carriage for a start. You're paying less carriage, so you're getting more profit, and you can buy a bigger amount. Okay, a larger amount. So get together, whoever you can, show them this video, get them to look at this video. Yeah, because I'm a pensioner, I'm on state pension. Okay, I've got a little bit of a company pension, and it's very small, to be honest. It's very small, and and so I have to make the most of my money. I'm not struggling here because obviously you're paying say with your discount on your council tax, you're paying something like £700-800 per year, depending on the house. I don't know what your house is. My council tax is less than £30 a year. Oh dear. Oh dear. And I have a wood burner, obviously, so I can burn wood and things like that. I have other sources of heating. So I'm able to buy things. Now, I do buy some collectibles. Now, collectibles, for your purposes, not for my purpose, because I'm buying these for a reason, I buy collectibles. These are certificated World Money Fair, these were 2016, and to be honest, there's only 2,000 that's been minted. But I buy them for the grandkids. Very pretty. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a silver kookaburra. It's colourised, and maybe that's better for you. Have a look. There. It's a kookaburra. It's coloured like that. Okay, so, but there are other ones I've bought. But I wouldn't say, unless you're in a better position like me, that it's a good investment for you. But bear in mind, as I pointed out before, this stuff is merely paper. It's just paper. And you've got YouTube. Look at the 1930s Germany. What happened to their runaway inflation? They were taking this home in wheelbarrows, and still wouldn't buy you a loaf of bread. That's what could happen if the economic system collapsed, and I believe it will. The way the amount of borrowing you've got is oh, good grief. So get rid as much debt as you can. That is your biggest leech, besides the government, upon your struggle to survive. I have one or two other little things. I don't know if you remember these. We did have economic crashes. People forget these. This is a petrol rationing card. You remember those? It's not so long back that they had to ration petrol. You know? Not so long back. So, get your small change jar, fill it. If you can, buy small amounts of gold. Get a club together, see if you can go buy silver, by going to, I recommend something like European Mint or Silver to Go. Very good sources. And don't put it in a bank. But I don't think you're going to get massive amounts of silver or gold. But there are little things you can do as well. Jar jar. You get these. What do? Throw them away. No, in the bin. Don't. You got some extra beans? These are green beans. Or a few potatoes. Rather than let them go off. Right? I should have washed these, but anyway, because I've got the starch in the bottom of it. That's always useful. Salt, water, pan of boiling water. Just put the cap on, in the boiling water. 20 minutes or something like that. Let it cool down. You've preserved that food you would possibly normally thrown away. Yeah? So don't. And then your electricity is costing you a fortune. Replace one at a time with a LED bulb, LED bulb. It will save you a lot of money over a long period of time, obviously. And get something like this. It's a torch with a solar charger on it. Okay, light sound there. This one's actually a lamp as well. But costs you nothing to charge because the light charges it. Last but not least, like me, look what I'm wearing, glasses. Now, if I can't afford to buy a pair of glasses because of economic collapse or whatever, get some of these, for boots or whatever, some reading glasses. Because okay, you might be blind as a bat otherwise, but at least you can read a book. So, that's my little contribution to the Pensioner Prepper site, and I hope you have a look in, because I do other things, and it's not the best of sites under the sun. I've not got a professional editing, all sorts of things like that. I'm just an ordinary Joe like you, and I just try to do the best as I can, just as you are trying to do the best as you can. But your enemies are the government, the banks, and debt. Get rid of them if you can. Get rid of them. Cut any frivolous spending you've got, anything you don't really need or things like that. Convert it to gold or silver or something like that, or an asset, food or whatever. Convert it to an asset. All else is just a liability. Okay, so Pensioner Prepper, wishing you all the best, and as they say in Bulgarian, Priatan den, which means have a nice day. You take care of yourself. Bye for now.